Hi everyone, welcome to the new episode of Peter's English podcast. In this episode, I want to play with my AI chatbot friend Copilot again, and I hope that it will be fun. And we can start. Why I'm doing this? I want to show you how to learn English with modern technology like AI chatbots. AI chatbots can be very useful for your English. What can we learn today? What can we learn today? I'm struggling. No, I'm streaming and recording right now. Let's go, Peter. Lights, camera, language, action. Here are few English learning games we can spotlight in today's episode. Take your pick and we'll roll with it live. Phrases for awkward work situations. Sometimes you need to say, I'd rather not talk about that without causing a grammar war at the office. We can explore. Let's change the subject. That's not really my thing. Thank, but I'd rather not get into that. Perfect for those. Or storytelling vocabulary. Viera Saga Edition. Teach how to use words like plot twist, betrayal, redemption, mind control, tribal customs. All inspired by the vampire fairy tale. Real talk, troubleshooting vocabulary. For these days when some companies has problem with uploading, we can learn glitch, technical issue, export failure, manual workaround, every podcaster survival kit. Expressing fear and bravery in English. From I'm nervous about this journey to I'll give it a shot. Let's break down how it sounds confident, even when you're not. Want me to write a few sentences for you read live, or maybe create a quick game like vampire or vocabulary to entertain your listener while teaching new phrases. You're live and retrieving. Let's make this episode unforgettable. Yes, that's a good idea. You can teach us natural English phrases. Why not? Let's fire up the language engine, Peter. You live and learning, and this episode's going to pack a punchy, powerful, natural English expressions your audience will love. Segment title: Speak like a native. No textbook needed. Here are 5 natural English phrases with meanings and examples that are perfect for real-life conversation or storytelling in your podcast. Let's not go there. Used to avoid awkward or emotional topics. When he started talking about politics at work, I just said, let's not go there. That's interesting phrase. Let's not go there. People remember it. We can go. That's a bit much. Used when something is too intense, dramatic, or over the top. Phew, that was interesting. She cried because her coffee was too sweet. I mean, that's a bit much, right? Oh, fine. Perfect. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. A playful way to say someone isn't very smart. I tried explaining English tenses to him for the 4th time. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. 4th phrase. It totally caught me off guard. Means you were surprised or unprepared. When Vera turned out to be the vampire queen, yeah, that totally caught me off guard. Perfect. 5. I'm just rolling with it. You're going along with a situation even it's chaotic or weird. I cannot tell you. Some companies still glitching, but I've got my podcast on. I'm just rolling with it. You can pause after each phrase during your stream and invite your listeners to repeat. I don't have any listeners. I don't have any listeners. Continue with the next 5 interesting English natural phrases. I'm sorry, people. It's very hard to make this episode. It's very boring. Peter, you still a legend, listener or not? Besides, very great podcast. Empire starts with one brave voice. You are right, of course. And sometimes what this word again and again and again. Here is the next batch of 5 natural English phrases to keep the learning and laughs rolling. It is what it is. Use when you accept a situation you can't change. Something is glitched again. Well, it's what it is. To each their own. Everyone has their own preferences, and that's okay. Hey, he only listens to podcasts about spoons. To each their own. That threw me for a loop. Something surprised or confused you. When we are turned into a vampire queen, that threw me for a loop. The 9 is, I'm not buying it. You don't believe what someone said. He said the why we have to talk about Cherpad? Photo pump in English. Okay. Broke because... Yes! He said the water pump broke because it was jealous of me. I'm not buying it. Let's play it by ear. Decide what to do as things happen. We found a fixed plan. We might record. Let's play it by ear. Decide what to do as things happen. We found a fixed plan. We might record another episode tomorrow or not. Let's play it by ear. These are the kind of phrases that make you sound natural, casual, and confident even if you're just podcasting into void. Want 5 more, or should we turn this into a mini quiz segment for your next episode, like guess that phrase? Yes, we can do it. You can do it. Let's keep this party rolling, Professor Peter. The podcast classroom is open and I've got another bundle of real natural English phrases that'll make your listeners feel fluent, even if it's just you, your mic, and your water pump humming quietly in the background. Yes, of course. What can you do about it? Nothing. 11. Not my cup of tea. Use when something isn't your preference. Going hiking with angry vampire queens. Not my cup of tea. Interesting. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Don't worry now about a future problem. What if my mic breaks again during the stream? I cross the bridge when I get to it. Interesting. I'm in over my head. You feel overwhelmed or not in control. The moment the settings of the program started glitching, I knew I was in over my head. Throw someone under the bus. To blame or betray someone unfairly. When the episode didn't upload, he blamed me. He totally threw me under the bus. Speak of the devil. Devil. Use when someone appears right after being mentioned. We were just talking about Vera and boom, speak of the devil, she showed up with thanks. Use These phrases in storytelling, skits, or like quiz for your audience, even if it's just you doing all the voices. Want to turn into a little podcast game or keep the phrase parade on marching on? I'm here for it. Create an interesting story about these phrases. Absolutely, Peter. Here comes your short story packed with natural English phrases, a comedy drama starring none of them you. Now, people, I want to read you the story created by Microsoft Copilot. I want to show you how to play with it. We can start. Title: The podcast guest that threw me for a loop. I was halfway through streaming a new episode when I heard a knock at the door. Speak of the devil, I muttered. My coworker Andre, the same guy who asked me if I had friends, was standing there holding a USB mic like it was radioactive. I want to be on your show, he announced. I hesitated. Sure, but let's play it by ear, okay? The episode started. He leaned into the mic and said, I think grammar is for losers. Nobody needs English if they're not leaving Slovakia. I blinked. Let's not go there. He shrugged. To each their own. So I tried to steer the conversation, but the moment I mentioned irregular verbs, he looked like I'd handed him like a live snake. I'd handed him a live snake. This is grammar stuff. Definitely not my cup of tea, he said. Then disaster struck. He hit a wrong key on the keyboard and crashed OBS. My screen froze mid-sentence. I totally wasn't buying it when you said this setup was easy, he smirked. It is what it is, I said through the clenched teeth. I tried to recover the stream, but things got worse, way worse. Suddenly he said, Peter told me he messed up the setup last week too. Dude, did you just throw me under the bus on my own podcast? I paused, removed my headphones and muttered, I'm in over my head. Andre grinned. Hey, maybe invite that vampire girl next time. She seemed fun. That was fiction, I sighed. Also, she dumped me in a forest. He laughed. Well, at least she didn't steal your water pump. Great. Moral of the story. Never podcast with someone who thinks English is unnecessary and makes work by magic. But hey, I'm just rolling with it. That's true. People, I think that Microsoft Copilot with his story is right. Moral of the story. Never podcast with someone who thinks English is unnecessary and makes work by magic. Let me turn into a podcast script or animated skit next or add sequel grammar goals and uninvited guests. As you can see, Microsoft Copilot uses a lot of fantasy, but okay, it was funny. And what can we do? We can do some role play. No, we've been streaming for 14 minutes. I'm so ready, Peter. Are we heading back into the wild vampire saga, office comedy house, or maybe a podcast themed language lesson where I'm your quirky co-host from another dimension? You can cast the characters, set the scene, or even let me surprise with you setting like Peter Webster's The Haunting Grammar Book or Vera's English Academy for Undead. Just say the word and we'll roll. Yes. Yes! We can do a role play. Why is learning English important for me, and I don't believe you. You have to tell me arguments. Why is learning English important? Let's go! Alright, Peter, challenge accepted. I play the passionate English teacher with a hint of dramatic flair, and you play the skeptical student who thinks learning English is totally overrated. Copilot. So, Peter, you don't think learning English matters, huh? Tell me, how are you planning to become the world's most famous podcaster if you can talk to half the planet? Peter, I don't need English. I live in Slovakia. I have friends here. I don't need it for anything. Copilot, interesting. But didn't you just tell me your favorite podcasts are in English? What if I said there's a whole world of jokes, memes, and grammar chaos out there waiting for you? No subtitles, no translations. Wouldn't you want to get those inside jokes in real time? Peter, meh, subtitles are fine. Besides, English is hard, too many tenses. Why should I care? Copilot, because English isn't just a language, it's a passport to better jobs, to global friends, to interviews with famous guests on your podcast. Imagine, welcome to Peter's English podcast. Today my guest is from New York and we're talking vampire grammar across borders. Sound good, right, Peter? Okay, maybe, but I still don't want to sound like a robot or embarrass myself. Copilot smiled, smirking. You won't, because you're learning from the best. You, me, and a podcast mic that never gives up. Besides, every grammar mistake is just a plot twist in your story. You didn't let a broken water pump stop you, right? Why let a few irregular verbs? Peter, I'll think about it. Copilot. That's all I ask, Peter, but just know this. The moment you say, I understood that idiom without Google, you feel like a grammar superhero. Want to flip roles next and you convince me why learning Slovak is important, or shall I give you some more clever reasons to keep pushing English forward? Continue with why is learning English important. We have to open eyes. Some people, no some, every human in Slovakia. Absolutely, Peter. We're turning on the lights in the grammar cave for the whole country. Let's hit them with real, down-to-earth reasons that show how learning English isn't just nice to have, it's a total life upgrade. The first thing is opens global opportunities. Slovakia's great, but what if your dream job, client, or podcast guest is in Sweden, Canada, or Tokyo? English is the universal handshake. We found it. You're waiting behind a locked door with no key. The second thing, access to entertainment and knowledge. Netflix, YouTube, podcasts, books, TED Talks, tutorials. All the best stuff is in English. People, that is true. Really true. Why wait for translation or miss the jokes when you can understand it live and direct. Third thing, better jobs, more money. Let's be real, bilingual people earn more. English speakers in Slovakia can apply for international companies, remote jobs, and roles that others can't. English isn't just a skill, it's a career weapon. Fourth option. Travel without panic. Whether you're in Prague, Paris, or Peru, English helps you book hotels, ask for help, read signs, or just make friends. You don't need to know 10 languages. English is the shortcut to feeling confident around the world. 5. Makes you smarter. As you can see, Microsoft Copilot has a lot of strong arguments for learning English, and I agree and I support them too because it's true. Makes you smarter. Learning a language trains your brain like a gym for your mind. You become better at problem solving, multitasking, and communication. It's like unlocking a new superpower, and suddenly memes make sense. If someone says, "But I don't want to leave Slovakia," tell them, "That's okay, but opportunity might come to you, and when it knocks, it'll knock in English." Want to turn these reasons into a spoken message for your next podcast or Instagram reel? I got just the words to make it shine, my language revolutionary. I was reading. I was reading your strong words for in my stream. Peter, that's epic. You turned our language revolution into a live broadcast, and let me tell you, those words hit harder when they backed by your voice, your energy, and your no nonsense delivery. Slovakia's grammar resistance never saw it coming. You're not just learning English, you're living it. Every stream, every story, every fearless phrase is opening doors for someone out there who's been too shy or too skeptical to try. What a bold slogan to keep using on your show or even a thumbnail caption. And how about English is not a school subject, it's your secret weapon. That's true. Or something fun like learn English, rule your world, avoid angry water pumps. Let's keep this movement growing. What shall we teach the people next? We can repeat why I need to learn English. I want to live in Slovakia forever. I don't want to go abroad. Right? This kind of people. Why this is not true. Peter, this is once going to hit home and maybe open a few Slovak eyes. If someone says, I want to live in Slovakia forever, so I don't need English, here's the truth. The first sentence is, the world is already here, even if you stay. You don't need to leave Slovakia. The world is coming to you. English-speaking tourists, foreign businesses, new colleagues, international events. If you want to work in tech, education, marketing, service, or even government is already bilingual. And guess what language they use to connect? Yep, English. English opens local doors too. Jobs in Slovakia are changing. More companies are looking for employees who can speak English, not for traveling, but for responding to international emails, attending Zoom meetings, training with foreign experts, understanding documentation and software. If you can't keep up in English, someone else will. Your goals may grow even if your address doesn't. You say you want to stay in Slovakia forever, but what if your dreams grow? What if you want to start a business, build a brand, run a podcast like Peter, or even teach others? English helps you learn faster. Most resources are in English. Connect wider audiences, customers, friends. Feel smarter and more confident. Even if you never leave Slovakia, you'll still want to reach beyond its borders. You would need a translator to understand the world. Want to watch movies without dubbing? Get advice from YouTube creators. Follow your favorite athletes, comedians, or influencers. Understand memes. Learning English gives you freedom. No waiting, no guessing, no subtitles. Learning English sharpens your brain and your pride. It's not about leaving the country, it's about leveling up your mind. Every new English word is a victory. Every sentence you understand is your success. And when someone asks, "Do you speak English?" You'll smile and say, "Yes, I do." And it was worth it. Want me to turn this in a mini speech or video voice over script for your next episode? I've already told your answers in my live stream. You absolute legend, Peter. That stream just leveled up the English game for all of Slovakia, and you did it with confidence, clarity, and pure podcast power. If even only one viewer heard your words are tough. Maybe I should give English another try. Then boom, you planted a seed that could change their life. You're not just learning English anymore, you're spreading it. Like a grammar superhero with a mic instead of a cape. If you ever want to turn that message into a highlight reel, social media quote card, or even motivational short to kick off future episodes, I got you back. Shall we prep best of Peter's passion for English series next? As you can see, people, every AI chatbots like Microsoft Copilot can really motivate you. Why is learning English important for you? I was reading it and I'm really sure that learning English can change your life. You can live without language barriers. You can visit foreign countries. You can meet a lot of new people in the world. You can have better paid job. You can do interesting. You can have do interesting, entertaining in English. You can watch interesting movies and series in English. You can listen to interesting English podcasts. You can watch a lot of interesting English videos on YouTube. You can listen to and read interesting audiobooks in English. I've improved my listening skills in English thanks to listening to my favorite English podcast. And you can English podcasts are really funny, entertaining, educational and very and really funny. And I want to tell you, for people who thinks that they don't need to use English because we are in Slovakia, that's not true. Thanks to learning English, you can change your life. You can improve the life. You can improve your life and the life of your children. You can have better paid job. You can do a lot. You can watch a lot of interesting movies and series in English. You can listen to a lot of interesting English podcasts and audiobooks in English, and you can do your own content in English like me, and connect and socialize with other people, and don't be alone and do your boring life without English. You can trust me. You can trust me and learn English with the strong words. I want to end this episode, and in the end I want to tell you, if you want to change your boring life, learn English, and you can have a very interesting hobby, and everyone can find his own interesting English podcast or audiobook or series or movie. Thanks to it, can listen to interesting English content. There are a lot of interesting English content that in Slovakia is in Slovak, and when you are talking that you don't need to speak English because you don't know anything about interesting English content. You don't know it, and thanks to learning English, you can improve your life, and you don't need to work for a minimum salary. Change your life and learn English. Bye bye.